Good evening, Beeville. This is Cindy Clark from PAC-B TV, and I'm here tonight at the studio with Derek Pratt, who is the Director of Education for the Erie Canal Museum. Thank you for taking the time out to come and join us here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm sure probably many of you know that this is the 200-year anniversary, the bicentennial for the Erie Canal in the state of New York.
Yes.
And it's a big celebration, big doings going on all over the place. What I'd like to do is touch on a few things of the activities, of the local activities in our area here that we're going to be having, well, from now until October. Now, October is the date when the ship, what is the name? I'm
Yes.
trying to remember the name of that ship.
The Erie Canal boat, Seneca
Okay.
Chief.
Seneca Chief, there
Yep.
we go.
So that boat, it's a recreation of DeWitt Clinton's original canal boat that made the voyage from Buffalo to New York City in 1825. The Buffalo Maritime Center and a bunch of their volunteers have kind of rebuilt this whole ship. They've used as much as they could traditional boat building techniques on it. And it launches in late September. It's going to be traveling all the way to New York for the bicentennial on October 26th, the official opening. But it's going to stop here in Baldwinsville on October 3rd, and then it's spending the first weekend in Onondaga Lake Park.
Now, are they spending the night here?
Yes,
Okay. And now they're going to open this boat up or ship? Is it a boat or a ship?
it's a boat.
Okay, it's a boat.
Yes.
Okay. Are they going to be opening up so people can look at it, or?
Yeah, so it'll have exhibits both on the boat that you can visit that evening, I believe, and also they'll have stuff on shore like woodworking that you can do with like kids and things. They're going to have a lot of different activities on shore as well.
Oh, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Now, I'm presuming they're going to dock up on what they call the wall here.
Yes.
Near the Baldwinsville Visitor Center.
Yes,
Right in
yep.
that area?
Right next to
Okay.
the lock, yeah.
Okay, so everybody knows where it is. It's going to be right where the lock is, where the big bridge that came through in that area. So, and I think there's some celebrations at the Memphis Part 2. That's coming up.
Yep, mid-July.
Now we can get some of the activities that are going on. What is if somebody wants us to check and see what's going on regarding this bicentennial, is there a site that they can go to?
There's a lot of great places to learn more about the bicentennial. The New York State Canal Corporation's website, but also the Erie Canalway National Heritage Corridor is probably the go-to stop to find out about the bicentennial. They're part of the National Park Service, and they have on their website, eriecanalway.org, an events calendar of all the events happening throughout New York for the bicentennial. And if it's not on there, but you know of a bicentennial event, they actually have a way you can add events as well. So.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
good. Now we'll circle back to the Erie Canal Museum, of which you're the Director of Education. Now, what do you just have a love for history, or how'd you get involved in the Erie Canal?
Sure, yeah. So I'm from a canal town, Chittenango, on the other side of Syracuse here. And actually, as a kid, I went to our local canal museum, which got me into history kind of, but I went to school to be a history teacher. I started volunteering at that canal museum and realized, wow, all of central New York kind of owes everything to the canal, and that's what got me started into the canal. I started the first year of the bicentennial, 2017, and here I am 8 years later. I never thought I'd see 2025.
I know, that's terrific. That's
Yes.
terrific. So are you still a history teacher too, or you just worked there? Or?
Nope. Once I found out I could get a job in museums, I was like, oh, I like that a lot more than teaching, though I have this year been an adjunct professor at SU
okay.
in museum studies as well. So.
And they now, is it just on the museum studies for the Erie Canal?
No, I teach just education in museums.
Oh, okay, okay. Now, where is the museum? It's in the Waylock Building, is that what they call it?
Yes.
Okay, now where is that? Give us a little history about that.
Yeah, so the Erie Canal Museum, we're located in the last remaining Waylock building. That's W-E-I-G-H, lock. It was essentially a way station, a toll booth on the Erie Canal. There were 7 of those throughout the state. All of them were knocked down except for this one, which was saved in 1962. Right in downtown Syracuse. We're right next to City Hall, 2 blocks away from Clinton Square. So if people are in town for, Taste of Syracuse or something, we're open 10 to 4, and admission to the museum is free as well. We have a $12 suggested donation, but the museum and most of our programming, we do suggested donations because we want people to be able to access the information about this historic waterway, regardless of any financial barriers.
Now, what's the age of that building?
It was built in 1850, so it's
Okay.
actually our 175th birthday this year as well. So.
Well, we're celebrating all kinds of
Yeah, I
birthdays
know,
here.
yes.
That's great. Now, how big is that building? Now, I've seen it, I've gone by it. And don't you also have a boat or a?
Yes, we have
Okay.
a full-sized canal boat replica in the historic weigh chamber where the boats would have been weighed. We're a 2-story tall, historic Roman Revival style
I
building.
wondered what that was, what you'd classify that as.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
also have an extension visitor center area that has more exhibits in it as well. So,
Oh, okay, so it's 10 to 4,
yeah,
okay.
7 days a week.
7 days.
Yes,
Oh.
unless it's a major holiday, we're open. So.
Well, that's fabulous. How's the parking down there? It's in the city. I know I used to work there, and the parking's bad.
Yeah. Parking can be a challenge at times, but we do have 8 designated spots in a lot across Erie Boulevard from the museum. And on weekends, that's a state lot, so none of the state employees are there on the weekends, so the whole lot is open and free to the public. Also on Sundays, parking downtown
Okay.
is free too.
Okay. So anyways, we're doing this, now are you gonna be, as part of, the director's position or whatever, are you gonna be heavily involved in when it comes, the boat
Yes.
comes through here? I mean, are you gonna be giving little speeches, or are you just gonna be a sightseer, or?
Yeah, so so the Erie Canal Museum, we're kind of in charge of coordinating their stay on Onondaga Lake. So yeah, we're planning a whole bunch of different programs, both at the park itself. We're also trying to work with the Liverpool Library out there, plus probably have a happy hour at one of the kind of local establishments around there. And we're also working with the Scano Great Law of Peace Center, where we're going to have a day-long kind of look at how the Erie Canal affected Indigenous people as well. So
Oh, that's sort of interesting.
yeah, it's right across the street, so I figured we'd.
Well, I think that's great.
Yes.
I think that's great. So, going back to the museum, now, do you have like is it basically you come in, you just look around, or and you answer questions, or do you have like mini type classes or something that people can get involved with to learn more about the canal?
Great question. So we have baseline if you come to the Erie Canal Museum. Yeah, you can just come in and check out our exhibits. Next month, we'll be debuting a new temporary exhibit about the bicentennial specifically, and kind of Central New York especially. We usually have a tour guide that's available most mornings, Thursday through Saturday.
Okay.
But then we also have special programming at the museum as well. At least once a month, we have a guest lecturer in, typically. This month, on June 7th, we have Julien Isher, the president of the Lafayette Trail, is coming in. This is the bicentennial of Lafayette's visit to Central New York. In fact, he came to Syracuse on June 9th, I believe it was. So almost to the day, we're having this talk about what his experiences on the canal were like. And
Now, where can we get that information if somebody wants to go, gee, I wonder what's going on at our Erie Canal locally, the museum?
yeah.
So what's the address there?
So eriecanalmuseum.org is our
Okay.
website. People can also sign up for our e-newsletter. It's a great resource to have. You always stay kind of up to date on what's happening at the Canal Museum, or follow us on social media. We're just the Erie Canal Museum.
Well, I'll tell you, it's very interesting. I know I've seen some, like at the Beecham Historical Society, where people have talked about the canal. You were there. It's I don't think people understand unless they listen to one of your speeches or, the importance that the canal brought to New York State and Central New York. And I just had a friend who finished the walk, the complete walk, the Erie Canal.
nice.
She did the whole thing.
Lisa
and
Saunders?
Yes.
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 She just emailed me about it the other day.
We've got, we did a Zoom interview, and she had to edit quite a bit because we got carried away in talking, and we
Sure.
went on and on and on with pictures and all of that. But it was such an interesting talk I had with her.
Okay.
Just showing, the good, the bad, the ugly, the good weather, the bad weather, what they had to come across, but then the history.
Yeah.
The history involved. She got a lot of pictures of the local fair at the different stops along the way from the whole canal, and I think it took her like 5 years to go.
Wow.
Yeah, it did. It took a
See
long
that,
time. Have you thought about walking it yourself? Or?
I've biked the whole thing a couple of times.
Really?
But walking it that takes a while.
Well, it did.
Yeah.
It did.
It's a lot
Well, I
faster
imagine,
than
yeah,
it was.
biking would be fast, but it can have its issues. I mean, depending if you're going in the summer, it could be really, really hot.
Oh,
You
yeah,
got to make
yeah.
sure that you're smart and you're hydrated, and
Yep.
it's. But like I say, there's just so much history. She showed so many the old buildings along the way, and you kind of get a feel for how things were back then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
I
yeah.
know, and it's very, very interesting. Yeah, it is. So now you're saying that the Canal Museum plays a major role in the bicentennial here locally.
Yes,
You
we
have a pretty-
we have a lot of programming going on. We've got those talks I mentioned. Every Saturday, we're going to have walking tours of both downtown Syracuse and right here in Baldwinsville.
I know. I want to sign up for the one here. Yes.
We have bike tours as well. Our big Beers, Bikes, and Barges series, which is always a lot of fun. We do. We have 8 different canal communities we're highlighting this year, where we do about an hour-long bike tour with a local historical society along the canal, learn about the history of the town, and then you end at a local brewery or bar, and part of your ticket price covers a drink there.
Are they doing one through here? Do you
We're
think?
not doing one here in Baldwinsville. There is
Okay.
one out in Weedsport and another in Oneida and one in Syracuse.
Oh, okay.
So,
Now you just basically handle this area, or do you handle the state?
so we at the Erie Canal Museum, we do mainly focus on central New York, but we are the largest canal museum of several throughout the state. So we do kind of do stuff all over the place. For instance, that Beers, Bikes, and Barges series I talked about, next Thursday is our first ride, and that's out in Albany. And I'm giving a talk out by Rochester this weekend as well. So we get around.
I guess you do.
Yes.
But you sound. I see I can feel the enthusiasm. It's something that's like it's all a labor of love.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
you really, really like it.
Yes.
Do you have a large following of people that get involved in all this stuff, like
Oh, yeah.
the biking and all of that?
Yeah, we have our regulars, and also a bunch of people just show up for random stuff. We had a talk this year. It had like 150 people came to listen to it. So that's great. The other great thing about our talks is we broadcast them on Zoom simultaneously and record them. So people who can't come to the museum in person also can tune in from all across the country as well. We have regulars in Houston, Texas that watch
Houston.
every one of our talks.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. So.
I wonder what their fascination from there is with this. You kind of wonder what their.
I believe he was because he's that particular person's emailed me before, and I think his grandfather or something worked on the Erie Canal. He's originally from Central New York. I
Oh,
believe.
okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's what we tend to see.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm very excited about all this
Right.
because I think in our area, people don't understand just how much history, and if we can educate them on what's happened in our community and what it's done for our community, starting at the very beginning, 200 years ago, it brought us onto the map, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because that was the main way of transportation, really. I mean, they had her horseback.
Oh yeah.
And it opened up commerce and entertainment, and
Yeah.
it was fabulous. It was fabulous. Why did it ever close down?
Well, it never did. The Erie Canal is still open to this day. I mean, they made it bigger with the modern barge canal, and that was so it could compete with railroads. By the end of the 1900s, your mule name sale could not keep up with the iron horse anymore.
Right.
So,
But I'm wondering now, why did they close? Like, there's a little boat ride you can take in Camillus, which is the part of the original Erie Canal, which is a lovely, if you're ever looking for something to do, it really is very nice, very informative. It's just a real nice little boat ride. But why, like, that's all closed? I mean, it goes from this point to that point and that's the end.
Yeah.
Why did some areas close and other areas, you say it's still open? And then the barge canal took over.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't understand all of that when, you know. when
Yeah,
you-
so at the end of the 1800s, the railroad's much more efficient than the traditional canal with its towpath and mule and horse-powered boats. So they decide to expand it to be much larger. But by that point, the technology was advanced enough that they canalized a lot of natural waterways. So the Seneca River, they build some dams and locks on that. The Mohawk River, Oneida Lake. So it largely bypasses central New York. So that's why you have all these kind of remnants of the former canal in, for instance, Camillus, DeWitt, Chittenango. But if you go out into western New York, kind of west of about Savannah or so, the modern canal is pretty much in the exact same place, with the exception of Rochester, that it was 200 years ago.
Okay, well, I often wondered about that, and, well, now I got my answer.
There we
Yeah,
go.
you know, I learned a little bit more. But anyways, thanks a lot for coming, I appreciate that, and I'm so glad that the communities here are responding and getting involved, and this is pretty historic.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
200 years, and, I mean, that put us on the map, so to speak, like I said. And there are a lot of activities, you know, the walking tours, the Memphis celebration they're having there, the boat is stopping here. I mean, there's a lot to be offered, a lot of history to be learned.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope people in this area take full advantage of it. I really do.
I
And
sure
I'm
hope
sure you're
so.
hoping about the
Yes.
same thing too, yes. But anyways, I hope to see you down at the Waylock Building very soon,
Oh,
in the
that'd
very
be
near
great.
future. But thanks so much, Derek. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your knowledge. I appreciate your help on all of this. Thank you
Oh,
very much.
No problem. Yeah. So the tours in Baldwinsville, our first one is going to be June 14th, I
Okay.
believe. We have 3 coming up this summer. They're walking tours looking at the canal history of Baldwinsville, because while the Erie Canal itself did not actually come to Baldwinsville until the modern barge canal system with Lock E24, the canal history of Baldwinsville is in fact older than the Erie Canal itself. The Baldwin Canal was
Right.
built in 1809, so almost a full decade before the rest of central New York got its own canal. So we start out there looking at the beginnings of Baldwinsville itself and the Baldwin Canal. Then we look at all the industry that sprang up along it, and then also go to E24. You can actually see the lock. Usually, since they're on Saturdays at 10:30, there's typically a boat that goes through at some point, which is always fun to watch, and learn about that. The first ever lock that opened on the modern barge canal system, so Baldwinsville's got that. And then we end again learning about the fate of the Baldwin Canal as well, which is my favorite part of the tour.
Well, good. I can't wait. I'm
Yes.
excited thinking about it. Now, what are the 3 dates that you have this, and it is a registration? You
Yes,
prefer some
we
people,
do
okay.
ask the people register. Same thing as all of our other programs. It's free, though we do have a $10 recommended donation. It's also supported by the New York State Canal Corporation's On the Canals program. I'm obligated to say that.
Of course, of course.
And you can find out more info about that on eriecanalmuseum.org. The dates are June 14th, I believe July 15th, and August 16th. Or
I think that's
something
pretty
like
close,
that.
because I saw it, I saw the dates, I didn't write them down, but I think you're right there.
They're 5 weeks apart, I know that.
Okay, well, that's good, that's good. But make sure you register, and it starts in the Baldwin Village Center down behind the diner, for those of you maybe that aren't familiar with the area, or you don't know where it starts. And then you ask questions, you take a little tour around where the original canal was, correct?
Yep, it's
Okay.
about a mile-long walk from the parking lot there behind the diner over to the lock and back again.
Okay, okay, good. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of history here, you're right, there's an awful lot of history here. But again, I want to thank you for spending time with us, giving us this information, and I hope that the community will get involved and get a sense of excitement like we have, because I'm so happy that this is all happening here in Beeville.
Yeah.
Very, very happy. But again, thank you.
Well, thank you. Yes.